Hello there guys, welcome to another of my live videos. This is your Manchester United versus Inter Milan preview tomorrow, 12:30 kick-off in the UK, in Singapore, and it is of course venued at the National Stadium and all that. So we do know this is our third pre-season game. It is the International Champions Cup. Obviously so far we have had a great start to pre-season. Obviously we've won our first two games and all that. Obviously beating Perth Glory last weekend by 2-0, and of course beating Leeds United comfortably on Wednesday by 4-0 and all that. And I do believe they have really played really well. I think the youth have really stepped up. I think like Angel Gomez has played well. I also believe that Mason Greenwood and that has played really well. But it was good to see him get a score for Manchester United against Leeds United. And obviously we do know Ole Gunnar Solsjaker has assured Mason Greenwood more playing time going on into this season. So Mason Greenwood is going to be promoted of course into the first team. But I think a lot of the young players have played really well. We have seen glimpses of Wan-Bissaka and Daniel James of what good signings they've proven to be so far, because Daniel James and Wan-Bissaka have done really well so far and all that. But Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has given us some team news going ahead into the Inter Milan game tomorrow and all that. So it has reportedly confirmed that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has basically said that Lukaku is not currently going to be fit, so Lukaku will not be participating tomorrow and all that. Obviously Lukaku has not yet made an appearance on tour, but now I think Lukaku is probably not on his way out of the football club now, saying obviously Ole Gunnar Solskjaer said he's not obviously fit now. That's going to obviously add more speculation in regard to Romelu Lukaku's long-term future and all that, because we do know he's been relentlessly linked with move to Inter Milan, and obviously so he's confirmed that Lukaku is currently not going to be fit. He was supposed to play against Leeds, but obviously he had sustained a current knock. He's given us an update on Luke Shaw. He's also given us an update on David De Gea. With Luke Shaw, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer did say he had a good training session yesterday and all that when we did currently leave Perth. So Luke Shaw of course should be available. Luke Shaw did not play against Leeds. Obviously he came off with a hamstring injury in our first pre-season game against Perth Glory, and he did literally say he may not risk Luke Shaw against Leeds. So Luke Shaw didn't play against Leeds United. He's given us some news about David De Gea. Obviously David De Gea didn't feature against Leeds because obviously he was currently a Mill, but Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has confirmed that David De Gea should be he's confirmed that David De Gea should be well enough to currently train today. So I do believe David De Gea of course is going to be involved. Obviously with Fred and Darmian, obviously they've linked up with the rest of the Manchester United squad in Singapore and all that, because obviously Darmian and Fred did not travel to Australia due to family reasons. I do believe Fred's just currently got married. With Dean Henderson, as I thought he was going to be linking up with the squad in Singapore, it's turned out that he has not now travelled to Singapore. Dean Henderson, so obviously he hasn't currently travelled over. But like I did currently say, it's a busy pre-season. Like I said, we've got Inter Milan tomorrow 12:30 in the UK. Like I said, then we go against Tottenham. I think that's on the 25th. Then we've got Christian Sunderland, and obviously our last pre-season game, of course, is AC Milan. But I do believe there's growing frustration around Manchester United at the moment, and I do believe if Ole Gunnar Solskjaer doesn't currently get the players that he currently wants, I do believe the board have currently let him down big time and all that. I think the last time we actually played in Singapore was actually back in 2001, and obviously this was 18 years ago, and I do believe when we played in Singapore in 2001, I do believe we beat Team Singapore by 8-1. So we haven't played in Singapore since 2001. So obviously like I said, that's currently 18 years ago. But like I did say, Manchester United put a great performance out against Leeds on Wednesday. Like I said, it was good to see Mason Greenwood score. It was good to see Wan-Bissaka get an assist. Also, Rashford again getting his name on the score sheet. He scored 2 goals in 2 games so far as Marcus Rashford, so he's been doing really well. It was good to also see Phil Jones get his name on the score sheet last time out, and of course Martial of course getting his name on the score sheet. I do believe that the players that have been disappointing, I think Matic has been very disappointing so far. I don't think Juan Mat has been that really good. Some people thought he did well against Leeds. I don't think he was that good. Obviously, he was playing in that number 10 role against Leeds. But the players I've been impressed with mainly has been Chong. I've been really impressed with him. I've been really impressed there with Mason Greenwood. I've also been impressed there with Angel Gomez. So majority of the young players have been really impressive. I've been also impressed with Jimmy Garner. I also think Paul Pogba's done really well so far. Got a fantastic assist against Perth Glory. I thought he was also unlucky not to get a goal against Leeds United. So we've done well so far. 2 wins out of 2 in pre-season, 6 goals scored, and of course no goals currently conceded. So basically that's some of the stuff Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has basically said his current press conference and all that. So he's basically said Lukaku will not be playing because he said he's not fully fit, and probably David De Gea and Luke Luke Shaw, of course, are currently going to be featuring. So that's also very good news indeed. But like I did say, with pre-season, I know it's meaningless and that, but I do like it because it gives upcoming players more experience of course under their belt. But like Ole Gunnar Solskjaer initially said anyway, he is aware of the speculation. He said there has been lots of talks and speculation about players coming in and of course players coming out this summer. He basically said, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, that we don't need to sell players, and he's very adamant that we haven't received many bids for our players. But Solskjaer said we don't need to currently overspend on our current transfer tags. And quite a few people have indicated now, we should be sensible of our recruitment this summer. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, of course, has spoken to the vast majority of our players and all that throughout the course this summer. But these players that are linked will move away from Manchester United. Obviously, so far we have got two players on the board. We spent £65 million on Daniel James and Wan-Bissaka and all that, and they're doing really well. And I do believe them two are going to exceed expectation levels at Manchester United. I think they've got all the ingredients required to become huge successes at Manchester United, and I do believe with Daniel James, I think it's still a prospect. I still say he needs time to develop him and all that, but I think he's done really well. You've got Wan-Bissaka, he's got all the ingredients required to become a huge success at Manchester United. But yeah, we need to build on that. We need more than Wan-Bissaka. We need an experienced centre half because we've got issues defensively. We also want to add reinforcements in that midfield. We also need a right winger. So still lots needs to be addressed in the squad. Also, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer did confirm in his press conference that some players are going to get given 45. Some players will get given 45 minutes. Some will get 60. Maybe up to 70. But I think we are not now planning, to swap 11 at half time like we have done in our two previous games in pre-season and all that. So like I did say, everyone will get the opportunity in pre-season. Like Ole Gunnar Solskjaer did basically confirm the young players, the fringe players, the experienced players and all that. So yeah, like I said, we've had a really good start to pre-season. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer did say we're looking to sign one or two more players before this window does end. There's only 3 weeks now remain this current transfer window, so I do believe we have currently got to be more competitive and all that. But like I did say, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer was recently speaking about our ambitions for next season and all that in the Premier League, and Ole Gunnar Solskjaer believes we'll be aiming for further player than fourth in the Premier League next season and all that. But analysing our current squad at the moment, it's not good enough, it isn't competitive enough. And like I do keep saying, regardless of who our manager is, even if we had a manager to the highest level, I still think they would currently struggle with this Manchester United squad, because analysing at the moment, City strides ahead of us, obviously Liverpool and that strides ahead of us, and it's very imperative that we catch up with like Manchester City and Liverpool and all that. But analysing our current squad isn't good enough at the moment. This is why I did say I think our expectations going into this season probably will be to finish in the top four. And I think in the next couple of seasons probably our aspirations will be at that top four and all that, because potentially we're not good enough at the moment, to win the league or, of course, a challenger for the league and all that. But like I've been saying, about Romelu Lukaku, obviously, he hasn't played on tour yet. Obviously, David De Gea, obviously, hasn't played on tour yet, like I currently said. But with Lukaku, I think he definitely wants to leave Manchester United now. With what Ole Gunnar Solskjaer said in his press conference, obviously it's going to add more speculation in regards to Romelu Lukaku's long-term future. I do believe he's on his way out of the football club. Obviously Lukaku, like I said, has confirmed he wants to leave Manchester United. Obviously reports were saying last week that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer had held talks with Romelu Lukaku and all that, pleading him to stay for one more season, because I think Ole Gunnar Solskjaer still knows how much of an imperative player that Lukaku is, even though he has initially lost his place in the team, because obviously since Ole Gunnar Solskjaer got recommended in, obviously Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, his first choice preference has been Rashford ahead of Romelu Lukaku, and I do believe Lukaku has increasingly currently become frustrated about this. But we do know for the entirety of the summer basically that Lukaku has been speaking about his proposed move to Inter Milan, and he's been relentlessly linked to a move to Inter Milan. And I do believe if Manchester United can sell him, it will be beneficial for the club, and it'll also be beneficial for Lukaku himself. So basically Lukaku doesn't like the way he's been treated in the last current 6 months and all that. So potentially, I think the stumbling block of Lukaku making his proposal to Inter Milan obviously is our valuation of what we're demanding, because we've said we want around 75 or 80 million pounds, so we're looking to recoup the money that we did pay for him from Everton a couple of years ago. Maybe we are orchestrating gaining a little bit of a profit, and Inter Milan of course are struggling to currently meet our valuation and all that. But talks have been ongoing for several weeks between Inter Milan and Manchester United and all that. Talks have been ongoing for several weeks. Obviously he confirmed last week that the Inter Milan sporting director had travelled to London to hold negotiations with Manchester United to thrash out a deal for Romelu Lukaku. Obviously, Inter Milan have already inquired about getting Lukaku on a 2-year loan, with around £9 million up front, with then the obligation to buy for the further £54 million at the end of the loan. But obviously, Manchester United didn't entertain this offer because we're only willing to let Lukaku, of course, go on a permanent deal. But it reportedly says now there's been a change of scenery, saying that report now Inter Milan are willing to meet our £75 million valuation. But I think Inter Milan obviously still want payments to be structured, so reportedly they want to spend a guaranteed £60 million. But I don't think this £60 million will be all in one go. I think they want to pay a guaranteed £60 million over the course of the next 3 years. So reportedly they want to pay £40 million up front, with then the £20 million to be with the other £20 million coming in the next 3 years, or something like that. And there's also £15 million add-ons included, depending on how Lukaku does perform at San Siro. So he did say they'll meet our £75 million valuation, but with only bonuses included in the deal and all that. But I do believe Manchester United again, of course, will not entertain this offer. But like I did currently say, definitely wants to make the move to Inter Milan. Obviously, Inter Milan themselves have been trying to offload a couple of their players, to help them generate funds, to meet that 75 or 80 million pound valuation. Obviously, I think they're under financial fair play restrictions at Inter Milan. Obviously, we're unwilling to accept swap deals that Inter Milan, of course, have offered us. But obviously, reports indicated out last month saying that, Lukaku had allegedly agreed the personal terms of Inter Milan. He said he agreed a contract worth around 180 grand a week. With a contract, worth around 180 grand a week. And yeah, but obviously, no fee has come to an agreement. Obviously, Antonio Conte has identified Romelu Lukaku as his number one target. Obviously, Antonio Conte has, wanted Lukaku when he was Chelsea manager a couple of years ago, but he ended up making the move to Manchester United. And I do believe Lukaku is keen on playing under Antonio Conte's guidance, because probably believes he'll flourish under Antonio Conte's guidance. Obviously, Lukaku's agent, Federico Pastorella, he came out the other week and he gave us an update, because obviously he's held several talks with Inter Milan, and I think he's, basically said that Inter Milan are desperate to sign him. They've identified him as their number one target, but obviously he classified the move as complicated, based on the extortionate amount we are demanding for Lukaku. Don't get me wrong, Lukaku could still be at Manchester United next season and all that, but it's just indicating out when Lukaku hasn't played in pre-season yet. Obviously he isn't going to be playing tomorrow against Inter Milan. That's obviously going to add more speculation in regards to his long-term future and all that. But Lukaku, of course, has still got 3 years left on his contract with Manchester United. He has been here 2 years. I think he scored 27 goals in all competitions in his first season with the club. I do believe in total he scored 42 goals in 96 games in all competitions. Lukaku was exceptional in his first season with Manchester United, but of course he didn't replicate that in his second season. I do believe we overspent on Lukaku. I think we overpaid for the player. I think we spent quite too much money on him, because obviously he's our second most expensive player. And look who we've got in so far. We paid 15 million for Daniel James with add-ons included, which did potentially rise to around 18 million pounds, and that's a cheaper solution, compared to what we paid for the likes of Lukaku and Pogba in recent years. I think £50 million for Wan-Bissaka, was a reasonable figure and all that. But I think we are moving away from the policy of signing them well-established players. But you do know Ole Gunnar Solsjaer wants to develop a squad of young, hungry, homegrown talent and all that. And Ole Gunnar Solsjaer believes he's following a policy, that proved successful under Alex Ferguson. So obviously Ole Gunnar Solsjaer is following, Alex Ferguson's philosophy and all that. But Ole Gunnar Solsjaer, is hopefully, that he can get Manchester United back to glory. Because obviously, we have been playing catch-up for last 5 or 6 years, since Alex Ferguson retired, and we do know a hell of a lot of money is being spent into the club. We've had different managers with different philosophies. Obviously, it hasn't worked out. We've been a toxic club because we've been mismanaged and all that, and this is the main factor reason why we have been underachieving. 3 managers have been sacked, since Alex Ferguson's retirement, and all that. But like I said, a hell of a lot of money has been spent into the football club, and analysing it, the majority of this squad is not Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. The only players that are Ole Gunnar Solskjaer at this present time is, of course, Daniel James and Wan-Bissaka. But I think we need at least 2 more signings, I believe, before this current transfer window, currently shuts. But obviously, if Solskjaer doesn't get the players that he currently wants, obviously the board have definitely not let Ole Gunnar Solskjaer down. But like I said, we've got to get the right players to Manchester United. I know it's going to be hard for us to attract players to elite level because we're not in Champions League football for next season. Champions League football, of course, is always very pivotal when you do want to get your number one targets. It's also going to be hard for us, to convince our imperative players to stay at the football club. But I do believe Lukaku's on his way out of Manchester United, and I did say to you, if Lukaku does leave the club, I think we are going to currently, need a replacement for him. We have got the likes of Mason Greenwood. Like I said, he's still inexperienced at the moment, but with pre-season, he's going to get a bit more experience under his belt. He's going to get more playing time going into this season. Solskjaer's confirmed. We got the likes of Chong. Chong's done really, really well so far in pre-season, but he's still inexperienced at the moment. You know, we've got the likes of Rashford and Martial and all that, and you know, they're really, really good. Very, very good still, both very, very young. Definitely are the long-term solutions for Manchester United, Martial and Rashford. But I still think, you know, they haven't emulated that level yet. It's going to take them a year or two, you know, to get them to that level where they do currently want to be. So I do believe we definitely need a replacement for Romelu Lukaku if he does leave the football club. But like I said, you know, there has been so many current players on our current agenda. I think we definitely need a central defender. You know, some people believe that midfield and that right wing position is more imperative than recommending a central defender to come in. But we need to see vast improvements going on to this season, because last season was disappointing. You know, we finished 6th. Of course, we didn't win many silver, and we haven't won any silver in the past couple of seasons. But we've definitely got to live up to expectation levels, you know, going on into this season and all that. But yeah, we've got to get at least another 2 players on the board, because January we didn't get any players in January as I thought we should have done. You know, we didn't get our number 1 targets last summer. I think we only got Diego Dalot last summer. This was under the Jose Mourinho era. I think we got Lee Grant. Lee Grant, of course, I don't think has played yet in pre-season tour either. I think he's actually he was injured, so he didn't play against Leeds. And we got Fred for £50 million last summer. I think we also overpaid for Fred. Obviously, Fred's going to get given his chance in pre-season, because, like I said, he has travelled with his squad now to Singapore, which is very, very good. With Fred, I'm very, very sceptical about Fred if he is the long-term solution for Manchester United. I know Fred proved himself towards the back end of last season, but you know, I'm still very sceptical about Fred. You know, to be quite honest with you. So I have got, you know, strong concerns about him. But we did overspend on Fred, and he didn't really get the chance under the Jose Mourinho. Really, you know, let's be quite honest. But towards the back end of last season, he did put some really, really good performances in. Like I said, with Darmian, he's going to get given his chance in pre-season and all that. But I do believe Manchester United need to sell Darmian. I also think we need to sell Rojo, because, you know, both players have endured difficult times at the club, and I do believe we can generate around 25 or 30 million pounds for their current departures. But if Paul Pogba leaves the club and Lukaku leaves the club, I do believe it will help us with our rebuilding process. It will help us with our transition, despite, you know, that they are still 2 imperative players for Ole Gunnar Solsjaker. I think we can generate around 200 million pounds for their current departures and all that. But yeah, Paul Pogba and Romelu Lukaku, like I said, have both been relentlessly, you know, linked to move away from the football club. But who should replace Romelu Lukaku at Manchester United, of course, if he does leave? Now, there has been a lot of talks going on quite recently about Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. Now, I've been updating you about him on my last couple of videos. Now, reportedly, we are identifying him as a replacement for Romelu Lukaku, like I said. Recent reports have suggested out from the Italian press, saying that reportedly Manchester United have put around a £62 million bidding for Aubameyang. Like I did say, these stories came out, was it around 4 or 5 weeks ago? And these stories, you know what, actually stemming from Andy Goldstein, who was a presenter of TalkSport, and he did say about 5 weeks ago that Manchester United are interested in Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. He allegedly said quite a while back they had agreed a transfer to Manchester United. I don't think Aubameyang's going to be signing a new contract with Arsenal. I think he's got 2 years left on his current contract with Arsenal and all that. I also believe that Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang has been linked to move to China, allegedly being offered around 300 grand a week to go play in the Chinese Super League. Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. But there has been a lot of talks going on about him. I think he's open to leaving Arsenal. I think also Arsenal might open to selling him, because don't forget, Arsenal have got a tight budget. You know, this summer they've only got around 40 or 45 million pounds to spend. I think they have got a couple of players in so far this summer. But Arsenal probably themselves need to sell players, you know, to help them generate funds and, of course, rebuild their current squad. So we've put around £62 million bidding for him. I do believe Arsenal would, if they was willing to sell him, they would want to recruit at least, should I say, they would at least want to recoup the initial £56 million that they did pay for him from Dortmund back in January 2018. Obviously, you know, Arsenal did pay a club record fee for Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang and all that, but he's exceeded expectation levels with Arsenal. He's got like a year and a half experience now under his belt in the Premier League. But I've always liked Aubameyang, you know, especially during his days at Dortmund. I think he's an efficient finisher. He's got endless potential. He's also very, very good in the air and all that. He's a good athlete, and I think he would be the perfect solution for Manchester United. I've got a bit of concerns about his age, because he's 30 now. You know, he is aging up. He's Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, but let's be honest, he's got that proven pedigree as playing as a central strike because he's predominantly a central striker. Can play out wide as well. He can play off, so I presume he can play on the left. He can also play on the right. So his versatility is pretty good and all that. He's also his goal scoring pedigree is absolutely fantastic and all that. So really, Aubameyang's had a fantastic career. I think with Arsenal last season, he scored 22 goals in 36 Premier League games. So he was the joint top goal scorer alongside Mane and Salah, and he obviously did win the Golden Boot. And I think in all competitions for Arsenal last season, he scored 31 goals and all that. And we need someone that can lead the lines and bring us them goals that we do currently need. And I think Aubameyang would be the right solution, because analysing it last season, wasn't ruthless enough in front of goal. We might have created chances, but obviously wasn't currently scoring enough goals. But it says reportedly we've put a £62 million bid in for him. Obviously, it did say we was prepared to spend in the excess of around £70 million for Patrick Emerick Aubameyang. But like I said, he's 30 years of age, 2 years left on his current contract with Arsenal and all that. But like I said, if we was to get Aubameyang, I do believe he would make a sort of similar impact to as Robin van Persie did when we did sign him from Arsenal back in 2012. I do believe in the 2013 season Van Persie scored 30 goals for Manchester United. You can honestly say, I think it was around 30 goals, and you can say that season in Alex Ferguson's last season as well, that Robin van Persie of course won us the league, reflecting on the amount of goals that he had currently scored. So I did say Manchester United and Arsenal of course have currently done business. But yeah, there has been a lot of talks going on. It came out yesterday about Aubameyang saying that we have put around a £62 million bid in for him. Obviously, there's been other names that could replace Lukaku at the football club. There's people talking about Wissam Ben Yedder from Sevilla, and I think based on Wissam Ben Yedder's experience, I think he would be the right type of player for Manchester United. Of course, he hasn't played in the Premier League as yet, but I think he's got a pretty decent pedigree. He's 28 years of age, so he is highly experienced. I think, like I said, his goal scoring pedigree is very, very good. He's available for a reasonable fee, because I think his initial release cost is around £36 million. He's Wissam Ben Yedder's. A lot of stories came out about this quite a few weeks ago, saying that Manchester United would in for him. I don't think there was a lot of credibility, Wissam Ben Yedder to Manchester United, if I'm going to be quite honest with you. I think it did allegedly say he was keen on making the move to Manchester United, but his move to Manchester United, of course, is dependent on anywhere of what happens there with Romelu Lukaku. He's got 2 years left in his contract with Sevilla. He's been there 3 years. But yeah, there has also been talks about him, currently going on. Dybala, do you think he'd be a good replacement for Lukaku? Mario Icardi, again, his goal scoring pedigree is fantastic. There's people talking about Moussa Dembele from Lyon. So who would you bring in to replace Romelu Lukaku, of course, if he does leave the football club? So yeah, who would you bring in to currently replace him and all that? Like I've been updating you on a regular basis, in regards to Bruno Fernandes. Also, more reports came out about him yesterday and all that. Bruno Fernandes saying that reportedly now we are preparing to make a bid for Bruno Fernandes in the coming hours. This was coming from the Portuguese press yesterday and all that. So he says we was preparing to make a bid in the coming hours for Bruno Fernandes. I do believe it's probably going to be a bid in the excess of around £50 million. Actual reports didn't indicate out what figure was going to be willing to offer, but I do believe it's obviously going to be around £50 million, because reports have reflected out earlier on this week, saying that we're only willing to pay £50 million for Bruno Fernandes. Sporting Lisbon wants £70 million, but of course we're reluctant to pay up to £70 million and all that. But we do know for the entirety of the summer Bruno Fernandes has been heavily linked with move to Manchester United and all that. I do believe Bruno Fernandes himself has held negotiations with his representatives over the move to Manchester United, and I think he has turned down Tottenham. He's also turned down Liverpool. I do believe Bruno Fernandes' agent has arrived in the UK to obviously hold talks with Manchester United and all that. He may hold more talks with Tottenham. So basically, Bruno Fernandes' agent is looking for the best possible deal for his client. Reportedly, if he does make his move to Old Trafford, reportedly we're set to pay him around £5.5 million a year, which obviously equates to around 100 grand a week and all that. So I think he did say the other week that he was seduced by this offer, and now he's obviously keen on making the move to Manchester United. But I actually do believe that Sporting Lisbon's valuation, does seem to be the stumbling block in all of this, because we're not willing to pay what Sporting Lisbon are demanding. It's a similar sort of thing, with the Harry Maguire situation. We want Harry Maguire, but obviously, Leicester City's valuation is obviously, the stumbling block, because we're not willing to pay, of course, what Leicester are demanding. So it's a similar sort of thing, with the, with Bruno Fernandes and all that. But the £170 million of Sporting Lisbon, it did report out earlier on this week, saying that the board have got concerns about bringing him in. He said the board, the Manchester United board feels, well, I don't think the actual board are backing Ole Gunnar Solskjaer on this particular signing, but he did say the board believe that Bruno Fernandes is too expensive. They also said, we're only willing to pay £50 million for a player who has obviously, got little experience of playing to the highest level, because he hasn't really got the experience of playing to the highest level. He has got the experience, but not really to the highest level. And I want Manchester United to get a deal over the line for Bruno Fernandes, and I don't think with the situation with Paul Pogba, I don't think that's having any effect on Bruno Fernandes to Manchester United. So I think Bruno Fernandes' move to Manchester United is, of course, not dependent on what happens with Paul Pogba, because regardless of what happens with Paul Pogba anywhere, it's still initially in Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's plans. To recommend, I think, a couple of new additions in that current midfield and all that. But Bruno Fernandes, like I said, he's been at Sporting Lisbon a couple of seasons. Obviously, he's been there a couple of seasons. Obviously, he scored 31 or was it 32 goals in all competitions last season. Obviously, he signed a new long-term contract with Sporting Lisbon last summer, so he's in the contract with them until 2023. And all. His initial release cost £88 million, but obviously Manchester United are not determined to go anywhere near that current figure, of course. And obviously spent the majority of his career in Italy when he was younger, with the likes of Sampdoria and Udinese and all that. So he basically, grew up in Italy, Bruno Fernandes, and he's only young, he's only 24 years of age. I do believe he's primarily an attacking midfielder, but yeah, he is a very, very good player, can score goals, can create chances, can also provide assists, and I think he would be absolutely world class in that midfield of ours. But we have got a good midfield in Paul Pogba, but he hasn't really been the player as well I thought he currently would have been. But, we had a great midfield back in the day. We had the likes of Michael Carrick, Paul Scholes, they were a fantastic partnership, back in the day under Alex Ferguson and all that. But yeah, I think Bruno Fernandes, would be absolutely fantastic indeed. But I think his agent was allegedly in the UK a couple of weeks ago, to allegedly thrash out a deal and that with Manchester United. So I do believe his agent has travelled to the UK, quite a few times. Federico Varandas, who's the Sporting Lisbon president, he's actually said that there has been talks with Bruno Fernandes about his future and all that, with Bruno Fernandes about his future. But I think Bruno Fernandes made it clear his preference is actually a move to Manchester United and all that. So more things will definitely update about Bruno Fernandes without a shadow of a doubt. But like I said, there's been so many other midfielders on our current agenda and all that. But I do believe anyway, we need to sell players, to help us generate funds and of course rebuild the squad. Like I did say with Sean Longstaff, I do believe now he's not coming to Manchester United. I do believe we are going to withdraw our interest in the player, because obviously Newcastle United have indicated out that he's not for sale. Newcastle are being ruthless over the situation with Sean Longstaff, because probably Newcastle know how much of an imperative player is. Newcastle said, if they were willing to let him go, they would want in the excess around £50 million. But I do believe Manchester United are not determined to go anywhere near this £50 million figure. We only initially value Sean Longstaff from between £18 to £20 million. So obviously Newcastle are demanding more than currently double that. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer did, instruct Manchester United, to get a transfer prioritised for the current player and all that. And we was orchestrating on putting a £30 million bidding for him. We haven't put any official bidding for him as yet. Sky Sports did report out the other week saying that reportedly, we'd held high level talks with Newcastle about Sean Longstaff. But obviously we haven't put any official bidding for him as yet, but he's not worth £50 million. To me, he's still an upcoming player, because he hasn't really got a lot of experience. He's got a bit of experience under his belt. Don't forget, he only made his senior debut for Newcastle in December of last year and all that. He did well in the second half of last season. He did thrive under Rafa Benitez's guidance, and he got a new contract with Newcastle, a 4-year contract, so he's under contract with them till 2022, and he's primarily a central midfielder, so he is mainly a box-to-box midfielder is Sean Longstaff. I still believe he's recovering from injury, because don't forget he sustained a knee ligament injury back in March and all that, and he is British, and obviously Ole Gunnar Solskjaer wants to recruit British talents to Manchester United this summer. But Sean Longstaff is a pretty good player, and I think if he came to Manchester United, he would have all the ingredients required to become a huge success. I don't know if he'd get into the first team, week in, week out. Something I would be very, very sceptical about. He would definitely get given his opportunity, because obviously Ole Gunnar Solskjaer gives everybody the chance, but I just don't think we're willing to pay up to £50 million for his services. So obviously I think with the departure of Rafa Benitez, I thought we'd been initially being given a boost in our pursuit of the player, because I think actually Sean Longstaff wanted to stay with Newcastle when Rafa Benitez was there, and wanted to continue his developing process there with Newcastle. But I think there was actually a change of scenery, when Rafa Benitez left. I think maybe Sean Longstaff then was thinking about leaving, but according to Newcastle, they believe he's fully committed to their current club and all that. But like I said, he's also had loan spells with Kilmarnock and Blackpool, but initially, began his career and that with Newcastle. So don't think we're now currently going to get him, even though we have held talks with Newcastle. But we won't pay £50 million. But yeah, he's been another name mentioned. A couple of weeks ago, there was talks about Solsjaker from Atletico Madrid and all that. There's been a couple of players on our agenda, who could replace Paul Pogba. Obviously, as I've been updating you regularly about Milinkovic-Savic from Lazio. Obviously, a lot of reports came out about that last week. It was coming from Sky in Italy. And they said, reportedly. And I think it also stemmed from Damasio, who's a very reliable Italian journalist. And, he basically said that Manchester United have put around a £72 million bidding for him. Well, this is coming from Sky in Italy. Obviously, this is going to be too insufficient for Lazio because Lazio wants somewhere in the region of £90 million. Obviously, to be fair, Lazio have lowered their asking price because obviously reflecting back last summer, Lazio wanted around in the region of £108 million, of course. But Manchester United have been relentlessly linked with a move for Milinkovic-Savic. He's going to obviously cost us a substantial amount. He is only 24 years of age and all that. I do believe Manchester United have held a negotiation with Lazio. I do believe Manchester United have also held talks with Milinkovic-Savic's agent because I do believe his agent was in the UK the other week and all that. But reportedly, we have submitted this £72 million bid, but more than likely it's going to be turned down by Lazio because they want £90 million, as the Lazio president has currently confirmed. He's been at Lazio 4 years, so he's had 4 years of experience under his belt in Italy. He scored 31 goals in 138 games. I do believe Milinkovic-Savic signed a new contract last October, so he's under contract with Lazio till 2023. Like I said, of course, he is Serbian, is the current player. I think he breaks up the play well. I think he's supposed to be energetic and all that. I think he is primarily a central midfielder, so mainly box-to-box. Is Milinkovic-Savic. And I think quite a few other teams have been in there for him, but maybe he's moved to Manchester United, of course, is dependent on what happens with Paul Pogba. So he's been another midfielder that's currently being mentioned. But yeah, there's been a lot of midfielders on our current agenda. But, since Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's arrival, obviously, we've seen Valencia leave the club after he served 10 years there with Manchester United. Obviously, we've got our replacement, with it for him, for Wan-Bissaka. Obviously, Ander Herrera left on a free transfer. I was disappointed about Ander Herrera leaving because you could arguably say he was one of our best players since Alex Ferguson retired back in 2013. And obviously, Fellaini left back in the January transfer window. And of course, Fellaini did serve 6 years with Manchester United, as you all know. I think we got him for £27 million, didn't we, Fellaini, from Everton back in 2013 under David Moyes. He served 6 years with Manchester United. Most of the time was inconsistent. Had the good couple of games and all that. But apart from that, I think we did right, getting rid of him back in January. Obviously, he went to China back in January. So yeah, we've got to get some, midfielders in and all that. Very, very essential indeed. The Harry Maguire transfer saga to Manchester United, does continue to persist. Obviously, we do know that Harry Maguire is essential defender, and I said we need essential defender, and we need a world-class central defender, because we haven't had a world-class central defender, since we had the likes of Vidic, and of course, since we had the likes of Ferdinand and all that. As I do keep saying to you guys, we haven't had a defence to rebuild on, since we had the likes of Evra, Neville, Vidic, Ferdinand and all that, and we've had great central defenders, over the years, but, I think we've had issues defensively, for several years now. But like I did come to say, Harry Maguire now, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has identified him as his number one defensive target. Like I did say to you, Brendan Rodgers, he basically came out and he's actually imposed a deadline on any potential bids for Harry Maguire. So basically, Brendan Rodgers basically, he's been discussing about that with Manchester United and City expressing their interest and all that. He has been discussing the potential bids that have been placed on Harry Maguire and all that. But what he's basically saying is Brendan Rodgers instructing Manchester United and Manchester City, if they do want to get a deal over the line for him, they've got to currently hurry up about it and all that. Obviously, Harry Maguire has blatantly made it clear to Brendan Rodgers. He's also told his Leicester teammates that he does currently want to leave Leicester, and he's indicated how he wants to go to a competitive elite level football club, to rejuvenate his career and of course take his footballing career to the next level. Because obviously, Harry Maguire is not going to be intending on spending the rest of his playing career with Leicester and all. And probably Harry Maguire now believes he's good enough, to take his footballing career and that to the next level and all that. Reports did indicate out, last weekend, as you all know, allegedly saying that Manchester United had agreed a world record fee of £80 million with Leicester for Harry Maguire. So it did initially say we'd pay £60 million up front, with £20 million in add-ons. That does potentially rise to around £80 million. It allegedly said early on this week he was due to have his medical and that with Manchester United, but obviously there wasn't any credibility in that. So that did get proven out that it wasn't currently true. I think actually, that actually stemmed from Duncan Castle saying we allegedly agreed a world record fee of £80 million. But I actually believe the valuation, seems to be the stumbling block, because Leicester have basically said, they're wanting the excess of at least £80 million. Of course, Manchester United and Manchester City are reluctant to currently pay that. I do believe, we're only willing to pay £70 million at the tops for Harry Maguire. Maybe willing to pay £75 million. Obviously, that's the same amount as what Liverpool paid for Virgil van Dijk back in January 2018. Obviously, Virgil van Dijk is the most expensive defender in the world. He's also the best central defender in the world, without a current shadow of a doubt. But Manchester United have held several talks with Leicester. Also, Manchester City have held talks with Leicester. But Leicester have said they'll let him join Manchester United or Manchester City as long as us or City are willing to pay him a world record fee for the current player. But like I said, I do believe the valuation does seem to be the current stumbling block. Obviously, Harry Maguire did say he became infuriated with Leicester last Saturday, blocking his proposed move to Manchester United and Manchester City and all that. I do believe Harry Maguire's first choice preference is actually Manchester City over Manchester United. City have obviously been seeing Harry Maguire as a replacement for Vincent Kompany, but obviously it confirmed that City had withdrawn their interest, because I think City are only willing to pay around 60 million, so we're willing to offer more than City, but none of us are obviously willing to pay what Leicester of course are currently demanding. I would say in this market, this day and age, probably £70 million would be reasonable for Harry Maguire, reflecting on his age and that, and he is a pretty good central defender, and he's Premier League proven, but I think over £70 million, basically Leicester are demanding too much. And looking at ultimately anyway, Leicester don't want to sell him. This is why they are demanding an extortionate amount. This is why they have priced him out of the transfer market. Obviously, Leicester are obviously going to want to replace him if he goes. Reports indicated out this week saying that Leicester had allegedly reached an agreement with Brighton for Lewis Dunk, and he said they had agreed a fee of around £45 million and all that. But Harry Maguire has confirmed he does currently want to leave Leicester. We've already had a £70 million bid turned down for him. Don't forget, that got reported from Sky Sports a couple of weeks ago. But we've identified him now as our number one defensive target. I do believe he'd blend in alongside Victor Lindelof in our backline, fantastically well. But we've had issues defensively for a long time. Last season we conceded 54 goals in the Premier League last season in 38 Premier League games. So that just shows the issues, of course, we have currently got defensively. But Harry Maguire is a very, very good central defender. He holds his line well. He shows that ability to play out from the back. He's good in the air. His distribution's good. I think his passing's quite good. Not as good as Van Dijk's. What? I'm going on it in a minute. He's passing and that's not as good as Virgil van Dijk, though, but he does show that ability to power from the back, and he's not really fast, Harry Maguire, but I don't think that's a current concern and all that. But he's Premier League proven, 26 years of age, still got a lot of years ahead of him, plus he's British as well. Obviously, been at Leicester a couple of seasons, made 76 appearances for Leicester in all competitions, 69 of those appearances have come in the Premier League, and he only signed a new long-term contract with Leicester last summer, so he's under contract with them until 2023. Obviously, Leicester did pay around £17 million for his services from Hull City, back in 2017. So Leicester did get him for a reasonable figure, and he has done really, really well in that current Leicester team. And and I do really, really like him a lot. And I think he obviously does want to become a Manchester United captain, as I updated you on my previous video and all that. But it depends if we can get a deal over the line for him. But like I said, there has been so many central defenders on our current agenda. Koulibaly has been on our agenda, but I'd say he's fully out of the equation now because Napoli demanded an extortionate amount. Manchester United won't pay it. Obviously, De Ligt's gone to Juventus now. At one point, he was one of our priority targets, so De Ligt's now gone to Juventus, so he's fully now out of the equation. There's still people talking about Toby Alderweireld. I think Toby Alderweireld would be beneficial, based on that he's Premier League proven. Obviously, he is available for a reasonable figure because his current release clause is around £25 million. But I think last summer, we was actually, determined, to spend £100 million on a centre-half. There was talks of Raphael Varane last summer. I always thought there was a lot of credibility, in Raphael Varane, coming out to Manchester United. But like I said, there's still talks. Well, I haven't heard much news lately about Issy Diop from West Ham. Obviously, we have been in for him in the last, 2 to 3 weeks. But Harry Maguire, of course, is the number one defensive target now. Obviously, probably Solsjaker believes he'll flourish under his guidance, and Mike Phelan's even instructed Manchester United, to get a transfer prioritised there for Harry Maguire, because Mike Phelan actually, managed Harry Maguire, during his short tenure with Hull and all that. I think Ferguson's keen on Manchester United, of course, getting Harry Maguire in. But like I said, yeah. So that's mainly everything to update you with. We do know, obviously, David De Gea, like I said, is going to be staying at the club now. You know, he's on the verge of signing a new contract. Obviously, we know Mattis now staying at the club because he signed a new contract a couple of weeks ago and all that. Rashford signed a new 4-year deal the other week as well, which was very, very good. But I did say that was an initial problem. You know, at one point we was letting far too many players' their contracts run down. But I do believe now, you know, we have currently resolved that problem, which is also, you know, very, very good news. But like I said, Manchester United, Inter Milan, like as you all do currently know, Manchester United, Inter Milan, tomorrow, 12:30 kick-off in the UK. That's the time in the UK. Obviously, you know, it's in Singapore, venue at the National Stadium and all that. It is the International Champions Cup. And yeah, you know, like I said, Solsjaker's given us some news and all that. It's confirmed Lukaku isn't fit, so you obviously know won't be playing in the game. Lukaku has not yet made a tour he's not played a game yet on tour in pre-season. Like I said, with De Gea and Luke Shaw, you know, they should be involved in the game. You know, De Gea is going to be training today, as Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's confirmed. He's going to be well enough to train today. Luke Shaw, you know, did well in the training session yesterday, so he's going to be okay to play, which is also, you know, very, very good news. As you have seen in our last two pre-season, in our last two pre-season games, obviously they've been our first two pre-season games, you know, Perth Glory and Leeds. Obviously, you know, we have changed it around at half time. You know, we've put an 11 in the first half, then we've put another 11 out in the second half. But obviously, we're not planning to do this in this Inter Milan game. So Solskjaer said some players are going to get 45 minutes. You know, some will get 16 or maybe up to 70. But you know, we're not planning on you know. We're not planning on, you know, changing an 11 at half time and putting another 11 out in the second half and all that. So yeah. So anyway, guys, drop your comments, likes, below on the channel. If you do, consider subscribe. As always, and take care. God bless, and I'll see you all again very, very soon.